But moving on from one signing to the next in the NFL, Cooper Cup, a massive, massive deal. He had 2 years remaining on his extension, and he got a new deal that was 5-year deal worth 110 million. It was 3 years, 75 mil was the deal. I'm trying to see 48. Wait, am I an idiot? Wait, am I reading the wrong one? There's so many different. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Holy mother of God, this is insane. So he signed a lot of guaranteed money, is what I know what happened. Current contract, he signed. It's 3 years, 80 million, 20 million. So this is where they get you. The signing bonus, $20 million signing bonus, 75 guaranteed. So that is the very interesting thing, and that's where I want to kind of talk about it, is the guaranteed money, especially with the Rams and the way they're structuring deals. I don't think this is something that the Bengals are really going to have to get concerned about until the big contracts of Jamar and Joe. Now, it's not the fact that I don't think the Bengals are going to pay them. It's going to be the other guys. So obviously when you pay the guy, you're going to give him so much money, especially at quarterback, and then especially when you have the number one wide receiver. Kind of what you're seeing here with the Cooper Cup and Matt Stafford, but you're seeing it at an extreme level with them because they have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey at the same time. But still, the way you're seeing these guys structure deals is the way that you kind of get around the cap. And by that, it's the fact that he has such a large signing bonus and guaranteed money. That stuff isn't going to count towards cap. So the real thing is, the thing with the Bengals is I'm not worried about the base salary. That's the stuff that I'm not worried about. It's the guaranteed stuff. I'm not worried about them paying Joe or Jamar. I think they're going to get that stuff done. They're going to find a way. They'll do whatever they need to get those. But it's the guys after that. It's how you're going to build a team around those guys that kind of concerns me a little bit. I think there's a large potential that they're going to lose out on some key free agents because of cash at hand. And I think that was one of the reasons Trey Hendrickson actually signed with the Bengals, was because he got more money, I think, in the first year with the Bengals than wherever else he was being offered. I think I remember him saying that, but I worry that they're going to fall behind the 8 ball, and that's just because they are one of the more cash poor teams in the league. It's not really a hidden fact. Everybody knows that. It's kind of the reason people have called them cheap before at times, is just because they don't really have that cash at hand. So sometimes they lose in these bidding wars because they can't have that guaranteed money. And again, I don't think the issue is going to be getting the contract to Joe and Damar. I think they're going to do that. They're going to figure it out, whatever. But it's going to be the battle after. I'm just not sure how you can battle with these it seems like few of them are probably billionaires that are owning some of these teams. I know the Broncos just sold for like 4.5 bill. That owner is going to be throwing money around to guys. Same thing in Carolina. They just got an aggressive new owner. I mean, obviously that hasn't really worked out at this point for them, but it's going to be interesting. That's the thing. It's not like I'm blaming Mike Brown for not having a business or something else. His business has been the Bengals, but a lot of these owners are coming from different industries and then getting into the NFL. Mike Brown's kind of been raised in it. So I'm waiting for the day when it's really going to bite the Bengals in the ass, and it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt and overcome it. We haven't really seen them change their philosophy in terms of contract structure yet. You kind of have to hope that's where it's going to go, just in the pure way that most of these teams that are competitive are manipulating the cap to I'm trying to think of the word, to extend a window. There we go. Once you're in that window, which Bengals just went to a Super Bowl, you're in that window. To extend the window, that's when you manipulate the cap. That's when you get guys that you're going to kick down the can. And I heard a funny debate on, actually part of my take. People were talking about how nowadays the NFL isn't about the rings. It's about the window, because people are still doing it with the Rams. Everybody's like, oh, the Rams are going to have to pay everybody at some point. And the Rams just won a Super Bowl. So isn't that the goal? Isn't that what we're doing here? So it's very interesting. But yeah, at some point, the Bengals need to kind of develop this new age thinking of the NFL and kick money down the line. You're just gonna be like, we'll let that bite us later. And it's kind of what the Saints have done. And it seems, I'm not sure, there's probably a bunch of dead cap that they're gonna hit at some point in the next few years that I haven't looked at, but The Saints have never really been horrible. I mean, they were pretty bad this year, but that's at times they had Ian Book as their quarterback, so that's a different thing. But the Saints manipulate the cap super well. The Rams just did it to a Super Bowl. So at some point, the Bengals are going to have to develop and come up with this new way of thinking, and I think it's going to be interesting. I think they have a lot of potential. It's just going to be interesting to see how they're going to do it. I'm not sure because I don't think it's going to be Mike Brown is going to be the one able to do that, just because of the fact that he doesn't have that cash. So it'll be interesting. I've never been on as a joke. I've said sell the team, of course. But at the end of the day, I don't want somebody to because of the possibility of the Bengals possibly moving. But I think there needs to be some money in the team. So that's kind of interesting. I definitely want to get my comments on that. I think that affects the Bengals not more than people think, but yeah, it's gonna affect them. How the league pays guys is definitely something that matters, and I think we definitely have to talk about that as fans. Just to one, I love the NFL, so I love talking about it, but I think it's interesting because I think it all has correlation to your team, whoever that is. If you're a Steelers fan or a Rams fan, or if you're a Bengals fan, or I'm trying to think of other teams that are probably cash poor. I would say the Bills because I'm pretty sure they are one of the teams, but the Bills just like paid Von Bell like 120 mil, but I'm not sure how much of that was guaranteed. So there's probably a ton of outs and weird shit in that contract. That's what happens in the NFL too. Everybody just gets a bunch of different contracts. So many loopholes how you can manipulate it because that's what smart teams do. So it'll be interesting how the Bengals adapt.